But now we get to Labour's plans for the economy in general.
Growth, and frankly by that I do mean wealth creation, is the number one priority of this Labour government.
And here's Rachel Reeves, Labour's Chancellor, the person currently in charge of the economy, explaining why growing the economy is so important.
Our economy is so weak as it's not generating the tax revenues that we need to fund our public services. It's why we have to grow our economy. The only way that we're going to be able to afford the public services that our country needs and deserves, whilst also being able to keep taxes low, is to have an economy that is generating the wealth and prosperity.
So when Labour says they can't afford something, like welfare support for parents who are in poverty who have more than 2 kids, or any of the other things that a population in a cost of living crisis might need funding for, when Starmer says
to accept short-term pain for long-term good,
Labour is explicitly blaming that on the economy not growing fast enough. They're saying that if the economy was bigger, it would create more tax revenue because they'd be taxing a bigger pie, and so they'd be able to afford more of the things that we need. And this is where we get to the huge elephant in the room, because if
securing economic growth will be a fundamental mission,
and it's necessary to address the cost of living crisis, then logically, they should be undoing Brexit as fast as possible, whatever it takes. Starmer has even admitted that.
a boost to our trading relations. Growth is the number one mission of my government, and what we understand clearly is that building relationships with our partners here in Germany and across Europe is vital to achieving it.
Because any policy that your own analysis says is costing the government £40 billion a year in tax revenue, costing the whole economy £100 billion a year, which the UK's Food and Drink Association says is making prices go up during a cost of living crisis, which the Bank of England says is costing the average household £1,000 a year, cannot be tolerated by a government that says its top priority is growing the economy to help people out of poverty. And that's why we really need to focus on this, because unless you can name another policy that's costing our economy that much money, then when it comes to improving people's quality of life, Brexit mathematically has to be the main focus.
So far, the data that we've seen on the impact of Brexit, especially taking into account the fact that the new trading arrangements came in January, is broadly consistent with that assumption that we had, which is that it would reduce our long-run GDP by around 4%. In the long term, it is the case that Brexit has a bigger impact than the pandemic.
That's an equivalent of £40 billion a year in lost tax revenue. So whenever you hear Labour say they can't afford to do this or that, or when you hear Starmer say things like,
There is a budget coming and it's going to be painful. We have no other choice given the situation that we're in.
if he's not moving at absolute top speed to reverse the effects of Brexit, he's lying to you, because whatever pain we're going through doesn't have to be this bad. He's making a choice to keep a policy on the books that is making people poorer and taking £40 billion a year off the table that he could be using to help people. I mean, listen to Starmer himself.